everyone. Welcome back, and here we are. We made it to week number 3 for Rachel Gaffney's Real Ireland. So thank you for joining me. Again, I'd like a big shout out to my mum, my dad, my 2 sisters and brother for their committed following. So I still have 5 followers, which I'm really thrilled about. I'm hoping we might be up to 6 maybe this week, or 7. Anyway, no, seriously, thanks a million for joining in and welcome. I'm here in Dallas, Texas in the studios talking about Ireland, the real Ireland, my Ireland, the Ireland that I know, and giving you some travel tips, giving you some places, suggestions, favourite Irish finds and more. We're going to talk to Irish celebrities. We're going to do live feeds. So there's a lot more planned in the coming weeks. So I'd like to start off by saying thank you last week to Glenn Mead, the Irish author who joined us. And Glenn was going to choose 2 people who were going to receive copies of his books. And he was supposed to give it to me last night, but maybe he did, maybe forgot. But I want you to know that he's on it. He's going through the feed and he will choose 2 people, because I don't want to choose in case I know people, or, you know, in case my parents are on there. Well, they won't be. They are not on Facebook. But I would like to say that we will be announcing the 2 winners for the 2 copies of autographed copies of one of Glenn Mead's books. Okay. So this week I thought I'd like to start talking about a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and that's Irish food. This one is really important. Anna, you know how I feel about this already, don't you?
Yep. We've been talking about it. Yep.
And one of the things I wanted to start with is, well, actually, before I do that, I want to give you a couple of travel tips. Sorry, I'm running ahead with myself. And I wanted to talk to you guys about airports. So think about when you're flying to Ireland. I mentioned to you before, there's 2 major international airports. One on the west coast, Shannon Airport. On the east coast is Dublin Airport. And there are 2 other airports, Belfast and Cork Airport, of course, as well. But the major international ones for the US are coming from Dallas or coming from Chicago, would be to fly into Shannon or to fly into Dublin. And now the map that I'm showing you doesn't actually have the airports highlighted. That's actually going to be used for later on, but leave it up. But you can see Dublin on the east coast. That'd be one airport. But the pin over there where Limerick is, Shannon's actually not far from there. But those are 2 airports. And think about this. Think about flying into one and out of the other. A lot of people think they have to fly in and out of Dublin or fly in and out of Shannon. But it really helps if you fly into one airport and out of the other, Anna. You can basically, you can do a much more efficient route instead of having to double around and go back again to the airport, and you get to see a lot more. And the other thing I feel really passionately about is, would you stop trying to speed date with Ireland, people?
That's actually the title of this episode, by the way.
Oh, it is? What's it called?
Yeah, stop speed dating with Ireland. Of course.
And for those of you that don't know, but I'm sure everybody knows, you know, that new modern concept of speed dating where you go and you have the guy and the girl and they're there and it's, you know, the bell goes in 2 minutes, you move on to the next place and the next place. I work with clients all the time who are going to Ireland, and that's like my biggest challenge, is trying to get them to just take a breath. When you go to Ireland, you're going to be on Irish time, first of all. And then secondly, just slow your jets, cool your jets. Stay somewhere at least for 2 nights. If you can't do 3 or 4, but do 2. Because this constant, you know, one night is so frenzied that you're constantly sort of packing up your bag and zipping up your toiletries and getting out before noon, and you're losing a lot of hours. You know, those hours could add up to a day in your week vacation. So, and no matter where I send you or where others send you in Ireland, it doesn't matter. There's just beautiful places everywhere, you know. You could be in one region in Cork, or you could be up in County Monaghan or County Leitrim, and you could spend a week there and you haven't enough time. So trust me, wherever you go, it's going to be beautiful. The other thing I want to tell you too is TSA, you know, I don't know if you know about this, Anna, but you can do pre-clearing in Dublin and Shannon. So,
right, you were telling me how amazing it is.
Yeah, and that's really important because it's the American, you're basically on American soil in the airport, so you do all of your customs immigration in Ireland, so that when you land in the United States, it's just like being a domestic flight. You just get off and go, which is great after a long flight. And then the other thing I wanted to tell people about is a little tip. It's a card called the OPW card. And we'll give a link to this. I don't know if we'll do it later on in the feed, Anna, or how we do this, but
yep, I'll be posting right now.
Okay, it's called heritageireland.ie. And OPW stands for the Office of Public Works. And this is the branch of government in Ireland that looks after, as you guessed, the public works. They look after all of our, they could be castles or stately homes or visitor attractions. So they all come under this umbrella of OPW for Heritage Ireland. Now, I don't have one with me because mine expired and I threw it away, but it's like a little credit card. And it costs, I know it costs 40 euros for a year for an adult. It costs 30 euros for a year if you're 60 and over. And it's 90 euros for a family. And the card is activated not on the date that you actually pay for it, but the date of your first use, which is really good. And it lasts for a year. Now, why is this important? There are a lot of attractions around Ireland that are actually free, but then there are others that are €5, €10, €15. And you know, if you buy one of these cards and you only go to 2 or 3 places, it's already, you've already used it, you know, got your value out of it. I buy it, and even if I only use it twice, for some reason, I just feel like I'm kind of donating to the upkeep of these incredibly important, you know, national monuments and everything. So it's really important. But now, March 17th is approaching, St. Patrick's Day, and we all know what that means. For me, it's going to be the onslaught, absolute onslaught of green beads, corned beef and cabbage, beer with green dye in it, plastic shamrocks,
yep,
leprechauns, and that'll be it. That'll be the sum
and
total.
people with fake beards, just pulling fake beards. I don't know why.
Fake beards. What is it about the fake beards? Maybe the leprechaun thing.
Leprechauns, yeah.
And I'm not here to knock people's fun. My God, I'm not trying to be a killjoy either. But I wanted to tell you about something. I did it yesterday to update this, and I've been talking about this on Twitter recently. So, Anna, do we have that photo that I did on Google search? Yep. So I did an updated one yesterday, and I Googled Irish food. And under Irish food, across the tab, I clicked on images. And these were the top ones that came up in my feed. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like where you are, whether you're in Switzerland or Dublin or whether you're in Wisconsin, but you know, I'm assuming it's still the same search engine, but this is what came up. Now, whilst some of them are okay, you know, this is not good. And when I say this is not good, because I see the obligatory corned beef and the sausages and everything thrown in, and it's not good because it's not fair on what's actually happening and has been happening in Ireland over the years. It's just been a food revolution is the only thing I can call it. It is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. And from the farmers, the artisans, the journalists, the chefs, the restaurant owners, the hoteliers, the cafe owners, they've all been doing their part to raise the profile of Irish food and elevate it to a standard that is comparable and if not better with French and Italian cuisine. So why are we not getting that message over here in America? And Anna, you and I've talked about this, and I've talked about it with people in the studio, and they still, you know, today somebody said to me again about corned beef, and maybe I can do corned beef and cabbage for TV next week, and I won't be doing that. So this brings up the discussion on Irish food, and there is a hashtag that they have in Ireland, which is very good. It's the hashtag is This Is Irish Food, which is great, and it has beautiful imagery on there. But the problem being is people are not searching This Is Irish Food, are they? They're searching for this time of the year, or if somebody's doing a project, they're searching. You work for a magazine, you work for Bon Appetit or Saveur, and you're thinking, I need to do a Google search. They're going to look for Irish food. They're not doing This Is Irish Food. And so I'm asking you, if you have a good photograph and you have anything nice with Irish food, mark it as Irish food, and that will help change the imagery on our social media profiles. So I'm going to talk to you about a few places that I love. And have we got that map again?
Yep.
And one of them is just an hour south of Dublin. It's in County Wicklow. And Wicklow's known as the Garden County. And if you look at the map, it's about an hour south of Dublin. And this place is one of my favourites. And it's a little gem. It's called Brook Lodge at Macreddin Village. This hotel has everything you need and more. And what I mean by that is it's quiet. It's at the foot of the Wicklow Mountains. It's close to Glendalough, Powers Court. You can go sightseeing. But what I love about Brook Lodge, and they have a spa, and they have a golf course, and they have all sorts of things you can go on walks, is the food. And what's so special about the food there is a chef by the name of Evan Doyle, and he runs the restaurant there called the Strawberry Tree. Somebody sent me this in the mail. I don't know if I showed you this, Anna.
Ooh, what is it?
I'm leaning over from a prop. So this is from the Sunday Times in Ireland. I don't know if can you see that?
Yep, we can definitely see that.
And it's the Ireland's 100 best restaurants. And I kind of pride myself on going off the beaten path and looking for places anyway. I tell my clients, and I keep telling you guys this every week, whenever I go over, I always add a few extra days, 5 days, hire a car and just go and look. And anything I like, I note. But in there was this one. Can you see that?
That is darling.
All right, so it's Wicklow, the Strawberry Tree, and that won an award is in one of the 100 best restaurants. Evan Doyle and his team don't get enough respect for the fact that they run the only certified organic hotel in Ireland. Now, I took lots of photographs while I was over there, and I was sitting there and I was working on my laptop, and I thought, I'm just going to do some writing about this. And to tell you that it's organic and the food is wild is an understatement. I took out my phone and just took a little video footage. Have we got it there?
Of the Brook Lodge? Or the other one?
The poultry.
Uh-huh. All right.
Maybe we could show it to them because you wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. But here I was sitting at my table with my laptop, and up comes to the table. I don't know if it's running there or not.
Yep.
What are you seeing?
I'm gonna... There we go.
I'm working away here. Can you see these guys? Hi. I mean, look at them. They're just wandering around like out in the back of the hotel.
You weren't scared that they would kind of...
No, honestly, no. You know, you don't have to harness them or shoot them or do anything. You know, they're happy doing their own thing. You can see they got bored with me. Off they went for a walk. And this is in the grounds of Brook Lodge and Macreddin. So then when I ate in the restaurant, before I went to the restaurant, I toured around and had a look, and they forage everything. From wild garlic to pine needles in the forest, and they'll get them in a certain season, and they have this incredible cellar or where they preserve in these old rooms. Do we have a photo there of the bottles? Yeah. And it's like a beautiful pantry, not like it is. And
yeah,
in
people
there,
can see now as a little thumbnail.
Well, it's got all these beautiful bottles and cordials. You know, everything from elderflower and the pine needles and everything are in there. And so that's just incredible. And then I ate in there at nighttime, and one of the things I had was, God, it was delicious, the duck eggs.
Oh my God.
Have we got a photo of the duck
Yes,
eggs?
that's showing on the stream.
Brilliant.
That.
So I can't see what you guys see. That's
Right.
the sad thing. So, but
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, there we go. So the duck eggs, that's what I had. It's just one of my, that was just before.
What is the texture like? How much, you know, because sometimes when you have milk is different from if it's like cow milk or camel milk.
Well, I'll tell you what it was the flavour. And duck eggs are incredibly good for baking.
Really?
Yeah, no, and they were delicious. And then the other thing too is, do we have a little video snippet of Brook Lodge so people can see what it looks
Yes.
like? Because I think if you're looking for a place to stay in Ireland and you want to go somewhere, you can swim, you can relax, you can have a spa, you can enjoy the food. They also offer foraging. You can walks and go foraging, and they've cooking classes there, and they have a beautiful old church converted down at the end of the grounds, which you can get married in. And here's something else about this place that I love. They have weddings there too. But their weddings, they built another building separate from the hotel. So if you're attending a wedding, and I think this is a really neat idea, Anna, that if you're attending a wedding, you stay in that other hotel. Because they don't want to interrupt guests who are like me or others who went there to relax and enjoy the food and, you know.
Or have anyone have a
and
free
Irish
meal.
weddings tend to get a little bit crazy and a little bit late. So, you know, if you're the person who's just been to the spa for the day and you want to go to bed and relax, you don't want to be woken up at 1 a.m.
All right, so when you're saying they get a bit late, what are we talking about? Because I know what late means in Portugal and I know what late means in the US, but...
Let's put it this way. My brother's wedding recently, I think they went to bed around 5 or 6 in the morning.
All right, that's Portuguese standard.
So let's move on from that, shall we? And then I had a few images to show you of some Irish food, which is a bowl of soup that I had at Ballymaloe House and Cooking School. I mean, when I say it's just a bowl of soup, it's not just a bowl of soup. It's the way they present it, number one.
I love the
carrot soup.
flour. Oh my God, that's darling. What is that green thing? Is that pesto?
No. It's carrot soup, but it's finely chopped herbs.
Oh, interesting.
And then
oh yeah, I was just seeing the little thumbnail, but now I can see the whole thing.
but the carrots are grown outside.
Oh
So
my God.
that's what Irish food is. Irish food is about all of the ingredients, sustainable food, which is really important. And then I took people on a culinary trip last year. We went to Carlingford. Carlingford is on the east coast in County Louth, and that's a place you need to check out. Gorgeous. But we had oysters and mussels, so we were cooking with those. So I have an image of the mussels for you to see. And this is what Irish food is about. Irish food is about, the meat from the farm, the dairy, berries. Baking is a big staple in Irish cooking, part of the Irish kitchen, which is another huge one. And then I want to lead into telling you, move across. If we move the map across, if we're going to bring the map up again, let's go to the other side of the country.
Oh, that's going to be too small, so let's just find that.
That's okay. While you're finding the map, it's a story of a girl that I met years ago. We've become good friends. And her name is Emen MacDonald. And Emen is from the United States of America. So you've got Emen, who's the American girl in Ireland, and you got me, who's the Irish girl in America. And it's funny how, we've connected. But we met in Doonbeg in County Clare, and I don't mean we met accidentally. We arranged to meet there because we were following each other on social media back then. And so we got together. There's a photograph of the two of us there. We look like we're in love, actually, just sitting there. It's funny. You can tell I just came in off the beach with my Texas Rangers baseball cap and my sunburn. But that's Emen. And so we struck up a great friendship, and her blog, her cookbook, her Instagram, you got to follow it. Emen MacDonald, or I think it's the Farmette. Actually, I should know that. We'll put that up.
I'll find out.
We'll put it up. And then there's a photo of us in 2017 when I went to visit her over in Limerick. And we were at Glynn Castle. So there's a photo of us four girls at Glynn Castle. Glynn is in County Limerick. It's in the very northern part, right on the estuary there. And Glynn Castle has been in the Fitzgerald family for over 700 years. That's Catherine Fitzgerald there in the photograph at the end.
You're saying that it has been in the family for that long? They live there?
700 years.
Oh my goodness.
Her father was the last knight of Glynn. So you can actually book that castle, and you can have the whole castle for the night if you want.
Is there a lake in the background that
that's the water. It's the ocean.
Oh, that's
the estuary.
Ocean. All right. I'm gonna put that on the. You've seen this image before, but yeah, that's so great.
And that's me on the left, the red hair, and then the Emen is in the, I won't say the middle. She's second from the right, and then that's Catherine Fitzgerald on the right, on the far right, who owns the car. It's in her family. She's married to Dominic West, actually, the actor.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
nice.
And I think it was Taylor Swift stayed there over Christmas when she was doing some writing. She took Glynn for a few weeks.
Just casually?
Yeah, like you do. But anyway, so Emen and I do a lot together, and she is going to be part of my tour. So this coming September, from September 7th to the 15th, I'm leading a tour to Ireland. So you can come with me if you want. We are going to be in Limerick. We're going to go to Adair Manor. We're going to go to Longville House. We're going to go across to Ballymaloo House and Cooking School, West Cork. And then we're going to stay in Dromoland Castle. Little nugget about Dromoland, but we'll keep them guessing. We're going to do a live feed with Dromoland next week, people.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
It's going to be so fun.
But with Emen, what we're going to do is, for everybody who comes on this trip with me, they are going to get a copy of her book. Do you see this book? The Farmette.
Huge. We actually also have a photo of that. I'm going to put that on the stream.
Oh, you do? Oh,
yes.
This book is incredible. So it's recipes and adventures from my life on an Irish farm. And I have to tell you, Emen, I mean, you and I are friends, and I'm just saying this on the air, but it's written beautifully, and I don't have to say that. And
the imagery on the book is also incredible.
Well, it really is. I can show a few. I'm sure they won't mind. But she married an Irish farmer. And what's interesting about Emen is she was a producer over here in the United States, worked for some big names, big TV shows, done all the big cities, you name it. Emen's done it. So you can tell her eye for detail with her photography, and you'd know by her feed on her Instagram, and then we have this.
Oh my God. Can you tilt it a little bit to forward? There we go. So
can you see that?
It's darling.
Okay, so what is this? This is her recipe for, she calls it Farmer's Sunday Cake. No, I went to the wrong page. I'm going to go back. This is her section on breads. And she has one, it's called a brack. Have you heard of a brack?
No.
So a brack is a tea loaf. When I was growing up, my mother would just make tea loaf for brack. And it's made with fresh fruit. No, it's not made. Here it is. I'm sorry, guys. This is live.
Yeah, this is live. This
Okay,
live
what does that say?
Wow, I can't see that. It's reflecting too much. Can you tilt it forward and low? Nah, no, it's not working. All right, I guess you're going to have to read it for us.
Okay, well, anyway, it's called Diviner's Tea Brack. There's a story behind why she called it Diviners. You have to read it in the book. But a brack is, in Irish, it's spelled B-R-E-A-C, because remember we have another language, which is Irish. Translated into English was brack, B-R-A-C-K. And brack in Irish, what it means is speckled. So when we take our raisins, we take raisins and golden raisins over here, maybe some dried fruit, and you take a cup of hot tea. Now, we're all big Barry's tea drinkers in Ireland. I'm still my Barry's tea. Love my Barry's tea from Cork. But take a cup of hot tea and a cup of your fruit, and you soak the two of them, and you leave them for about an hour. And what that does is the fruit absorbs the tea and plumps up. And it gives it this wonderful flavour, just another layer to this little cake. And can you see this cake? I don't know if you can on the camera or not.
Yeah, indeed.
I've made some here. Some of my fruit sank to the bottom, and then maybe you can tell me what I did wrong here. And something is the proportions. I might have made a mistake, but that lovely colour on the slice is the tea. You know. Yeah, so it's beautiful. So we would have that with a cup of tea. You could also put some butter on it if you want, some Kerrygold. Irish butter on there or something, because I love my Kerrygold. But you can put some butter on there and have it with a hot cup of tea. So Imen does these wonderful, wonderful recipes. So I actually decided, so not only can you meet her when you come to Ireland, we're going to go to her farm. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's so great. And what she's going to do is going to take us all blackberry picking. Because you know over here when people get blackberries, you have to go buy a little box in the grocery store.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, so whereas in Ireland we used to go blackberry picking as kids all the time.
Just kind of just on someone's property just because?
Yeah, just the hedgerows. I mean, I used to go out blackberry picking in September for hours. We'd go out in our welly boots, you know, in the rain, and it didn't matter what the weather was in September with a bucket, and you went off with your friends and we went blackberry picking and to come back.
Actually, my aunt used to have a lot of blackberry bushes. Is that what we call it?
Well, they're normally hedgerows, like especially in Ireland, it's all hedgerows. They're wild bramble. Because they're thorny as well.
Okay, so I used to go and pick them up, and I loved it. It's just such a fun thing to do. Am I gonna get in trouble if I slip and fall?
But the flavour of the blackberries is so completely different, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, they taste like blackberries. I mean, what else can I tell you? But we're going to go blackberry picking with her.
That's delightful.
And so whoever's coming with me, you got to bring your welly boots, and we're going to, hobble across the fields and do whatever we have to do, go blackberry picking, and then we'll go back to her farmhouse, and she makes all her own butter. She churns butter, and she will make us scones and blackberry preserve. I say preserve because in Ireland we call it blackberry jam. Here it's called jelly, and I'm not a fan of jelly because jelly's kind of jelly-ish. But I like it where the fruits are made, where they're seedy, and I love all that,
Yeah, if everything is done from scratch, absolutely tastes so much
it's incredible. Yeah. So we're going to have scones, freshly homemade butter, blackberry preserve, and a good whole hot cup of tea, with the men. And I think that's going to be really nice because you'll have her cookbook in advance before going to Ireland. So that way you can enjoy looking at it, number one, before you go. And then when you read it and read the stories, which, by the way, I was saying at the very beginning, and I lost my train of thought, was something struck me when I read this book, is that I have read so many Irish cookbooks written by Irish people, and there's something very special about this because it's written by an American. And what I mean by that is that she is wearing her American hat. She's explaining everything in the book, and I don't mean the how to cook or how to bake or whatever, but the stories behind it and the colloquialisms and everything, and that's very important to a recipe. So I love the book, I really do. So anyway, the other thing too is I thought I'd mention the Irish butter shortbreads, which is another kind of quick thing. Her recipe for the tea brack is in the book, by the way. So, but I used to make Irish butter shortbreads, and I made them on the Martha Stewart show as well. And
Yeah,
so we have
my-
some
my
here in the
phone.
boxes.
Yes, and I think you brought them on the first show as well.
I don't know if I did.
I think you did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well I have to stop with the shortbreads. But so I put this little package together. I don't know if you guys can see it down here.
Let me switch.
I only
them.
have 10 of them, but I say 10, but now I think there's only 7 left. And it's for $50. It's the copy of the men's book. It's a box of Irish butter shortbreads and a beautiful linen tea towel with, Celtic designs embedded into the tea towel for $50. So if you're interested in those, they're on my Facebook page as well, but I just thought I'd mention that to you. But the shortbreads then is something that I'm going to make on TV next week.
Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm going to do... I'm trying to
Can you
remember
say which channel are you doing?
Yeah, of course. On Thursday, March the 14th, I'm doing Fox 4, Good Day Dallas.
Nice.
And then on the Friday morning with Jane McGarry, I'm going to be doing Good Morning Texas. In fact, I ran into Jane McGarry this morning.
Did you?
Yeah, I just ran into her outside. We just started chatting, She's telling me about her golf trip to Ireland, how she had lost a lot of golf balls in Ireland. She's not alone there, and plenty of us have lost many a golf ball in Ireland. But so she and I are going to be doing a little cooking segment next week on, it's ABC, the local one, Good Morning Texas, which is between 8 and 9 a.m. I'm going to do the Irish butter shortbreads. I'm going to show people how to make them, I think, and I'll do different flavoured ones. And then the day before, on Fox 4, I'm going to do something with Irish salmon. And I got that recipe from my good friend Nevin Maguire. Nevin actually has Macreddin House in Cavan. And he's another very famous Irish chef.
Yeah, you were showing me great photos from a feature.
Well, in that, do you remember we were talking about this newspaper, the 100?
Right.
Yeah, so inside the very first page, when I opened it up, was... sorry, this is what's fabulous.
Live. That's the effect of
Live. But I really want people to get an idea of what this looks like. Here's one of his creations. I hope I'm doing this justice.
Yes.
Can you guys see this at all?
We can definitely see it. It looks amazing.
So that's Nevin's place in Macreddin House in County Cavan. And I do a lot with Nevin. People will go cooking with me. And guess what? Nevin's going to be on our show in a few weeks. Yay,
can't
Nevin
wait for
Maguire.
that.
He's going to be talking about Irish food and some different things as well in a few weeks. I think he's coming on in April. And then the other person I wanted to talk about was Catherine Fulvio. So remember I was telling you guys about Lords and Ladles?
Yes, the Netflix show.
Now, I believe it's NBC. Don't hold me to this. Don't send me emails. Don't sue me. But if it's incorrect, correct me for sure. But I believe it's NBC. Filmed at Ballynockin Cooking School in Wicklow. Again, Wicklow.
Nice.
For St. Patrick's Day. And Catherine Fulvio's on it. And she was making the most delicious cakes. And I don't know what she's making for the show, but I just posted a few things on my Instagram feed. I think today or yesterday. She makes a Guinness and beetroot cake. I know.
Sounds amazing.
I know, and she runs out to her gardens and picks whatever she needs for her topping on her food and her cakes, and that's what I love about it.
What is the ultimate color of the cake?
It's actually a beautiful, deep, dark chocolate, and it has some Guinness, but she has beetroot in there. So I want to talk to her about because beetroot I love. I'm a huge fan of beets.
I love both. Oh my god.
Yeah, and I'm sure it must do. Well, like when you think about it, we have zucchini bread, right?
That's true.
So there's lots of things. With carrot cake. So it makes sense that, and the other one I love is celeriac or how do you pronounce it over here?
Oh,
celeriac.
The two foreign ones, wondering how that's
how we pronounce things. We kind of go back and forth on those, don't we?
Celeriac?
Celeriac. It's the ugly duckling of vegetables, of root vegetables, but it makes the most incredible food. It's another fabulous one if you haven't seen that. But Catherine Fulvio, remember I said you guys to watch Netflix Lords and Ladles? So she was in it with 2 other gentlemen. One is Paul Flynn from the Tannery in Dungarvan, the chef, and the other is Derry Clark. And so the 3 of them do this series together where they go around Ireland, all the stately homes, and they have to recreate a recipe from maybe 100 years ago or something.
Really?
Yeah. And then they have to serve it to the dinner guests. And it's very funny. Like I said, it's on Netflix, Lords and Ladles. And that's Ladles, not ladies. Ladles, as in the soup ladle. And in the first season, episode 5, I think, they're in a place called Ballywalter Park in County Down. And you got to watch that one. I took people to Ballywalter Park last year, so we're going to show some imagery on that in the coming weeks as well. But Catherine's going to come on.
That's super exciting.
So we're going to chat to Catherine. Yeah, because my mission is to get these guys over here to Texas. I love you guys in Ireland. I love that you go to New York and Chicago, but don't forget about us down here. I mean, Texas is a big state and very friendly, right?
Indeed. That's why both of us are here, right?
Yeah. We love learning about new food and new people and new ingredients. And so I think the Irish need to come to Texas a bit more. So anyway, but on that note, I think I'll wrap up for today because I think people are probably busy and probably need to get going. I'm sure my family have to sign off now. So thanks again to my mum, my dad, and who aren't on Facebook, and to everybody else for watching. But I hope you got a little flavour of Ireland this week, and we'll be chatting to you next week, hopefully connecting live with Dromoland Castle. Until then, bye y'all. Thanks.